Hey everyone, welcome to my studio. Right now in my studio, I am working on this mosaic. So this is the second of 3 Moses mosaics that will be going around the sides of a fountain at a church. This is the one that I'm working on right now. It's on my workbench. And here's how far I've gotten. So the first thing I'm going to tackle this week is I am going to finish these water lilies. Then we'll see. For these last 2 lilies, I'm deviating a little bit from the design that I drew. I'm not sure why I made them with so many petals. I like the bigger petals and fewer of them. This green glass that I'm using for the lily pads has got one side that's nice and pretty and shiny, and the other side that has a little bit of texture, but it's also dull. So I'm trying to not use the dull side. I'm trying to just use this pretty shiny side, which makes things a little bit trickier, but doable. Also, when I set up the mesh over the design, I had done some field measurements, and so this bottom line is the bottom line of the mosaic, and then the top line is the one that I adjusted for the field measurements. So this is the true line, and I'm coming off just a hair, about 1/8 of an inch up from this line and all the way around the whole thing. Yeah, let me get after it. looking at my design again. I have finished the rest of the lilies over here, and now I think I'm gonna do these iris. So, silly me, I made those very bright purple. I don't think I have bright purple glass, so I'll have to see what I have, and I'll kind of get it as bright as possible, but most likely it will be a little more dull than what you see here. Here's my purple scrap bin. And this one seems pretty bright, but it's also a little bit more on the blue side. But I'm gonna go ahead and use this as a starting point if I have enough of it. So let me see what I've got. All right, here are my irises. And here, this was my favorite one, but I don't have a whole lot of it. I have that, this, I'm not even sure if those are the same. This, some scraps. So, and I know it's a little bit on the blue side. So to go along with this, I have some colors that are more purple. I've got this one for some of the darks. This one is sort of more blue, and it is for the lights, along with this one for the lights. This one has more purple in it, so maybe I'll just go with this, and I don't know, we'll see. And then I have this Kokomo glass and this spectrum glass. And I'm thinking the spectrum is just a little bit too pale. It's called mauve, and I think I'm gonna get rid of that. So in the end, here are my colors. I've got these four to make all these beautiful iris. Oh, I went to put these away and I found another bin, and it's actually labeled. It's Armstrong glass, aqua blue, purple, pink, opal streaky. This one is granite, which is the texture. These don't have that same texture, and they do seem to be a little bit dull on one side. I'm gonna have to wash all these. They feel kind of dirty. So I'll wash them and then I'll get after it. Before I begin cutting glass, I trace over the mesh so that I have the petal shapes more visible. To make the leaves for the irises, I'm just going to start out by cutting some. And they are not very wide and they're not very tall. So I'm gonna cut a strip that goes to a point and kind of just go back and forth until I've got several to start with. And then I'll start right here. I'm doing it freehand, so there's a little bit of movement in there that's more natural than would be if I hadn't done that. All right, let's see how these cut. Greens on here, they are seeming crazy bright and not very realistic. So I'm going to mix in some of these mixed tones just to bring the brightness down a bit and make it a little more realistic. But before I get to that, I'm going to start in on the irises. I'm just going to live with this for a minute while I work on the flowers. That's it. it's really nice to have all of the flowers done on the whole project. It just brings a lot of color to it. And now I can't wait to fill in and bring all these elements together and just make it become a full scene, with the water especially. Next up, the leaves and the cattails. That's putting it together. Thanks for watching. See you next time.